The Cleveland Browns, yes, the same team that keeps reinventing what quarterback chaos looks like, might have just flipped the script again. Because after Joe Flacco's meltdown against Detroit, Kevin Stefanski didn't just hint at a change. He practically waved a flare gun. And who's emerging from the smoke? Not another washed-up vet. Not a random third-string placeholder. No, it's Shedeur Sanders. That's right. The rookie with the big name, the bigger personality, and a confidence level somewhere between MVP speech ready. And put me on the cover of Madden.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
The same guy who casually told the world he's already better than most NFL quarterbacks. And now, after Flacco's turnover festival, he might get the chance to prove it next week. It's wild. It's risky. And it's exactly the kind of chaotic quarterback drama we live for. Because here's the thing. Joe Flacco wasn't just bad. He was season-derailing bad. One interception that had fans throwing their remote across the room, followed by a fumble, so avoidable it looked like a blooper reel outtake. Stefanski didn't have to say much. His silence was loud, and his comments? Louder. Shedeur is firmly in the mix, isn't just coach speak. That's a warning shot to every vet on that depth chart. And let's be real, Sanders isn't just any rookie. This isn't a deer-in-headlights situation. This is a guy who walks like a franchise QB, talks like he already has a sneaker deal, and carries himself like pressure is just background noise. He's been waiting, watching, and now? The Browns might finally hand him the keys to this very unstable, very dramatic car. But the internet is divided. Some fans are yelling finally, like it's a long-awaited season finale, while others are screaming too soon from the rooftops. Because when you bench a veteran for a rookie, you're not just making a change, you're lighting a fuse. So now the Browns are standing at a fork in the road. One path is predictable, limp along with Flacco, and hope for slightly fewer disasters. The other is electric, uncertain, and just a little unhinged. Give the ball to Shedeur and let the chaos unfold. And honestly, in a season like this, chaos might be exactly what Cleveland needs. This wasn't some speculative post-game quote to fill headlines. It was a turning point in what's quickly become a defining moment for the Browns season, and potentially the franchise as a whole. Because with one fumble, one interception, and one more flat-out uninspired performance, Joe Flacco may have officially fumbled away his final chance as a starting quarterback in Cleveland. And just like that, the Shedeur Sanders era is ready to begin. Let's talk facts. Joe Flacco's performance against the Detroit Lions wasn't just disappointing, it was costly. A brutal first-half interception, a momentum-killing fumble, a game plan that never got off the ground because its quarterback couldn't manage the basics. For a team that brought him in to be the stabilizer, the veteran presence, the voice of reason, Flacco delivered nothing but question marks. That's not sustainable. And Stefanski knows it. He didn't need to throw Flacco under the bus. All he had to do was shift the narrative just slightly, and the message was loud and clear. This team needs new energy, and Shedeur Sanders is the source. Shedeur hasn't even taken an NFL snap yet, but the conversation around him has already eclipsed Flacco's. Because what Sanders lacks in experience, he makes up for in something the Browns haven't had in a long time: potential. And right now, this franchise is starving for it. For weeks, Sanders has stayed composed on the sideline. No distractions. No leaks. No noise. When asked about his status, he leaned into faith and patience, not frustration. He spoke about timing, about trusting the process, and about believing in himself. He even went on record claiming he's already better than many NFL quarterbacks. And while that quote might have raised eyebrows at the time, Flacco's recent showing has made it look a lot less controversial. Because say what you want about confidence, Sanders backs it up with presence. The demeanor, the mental toughness, the way he speaks, the way he carries himself. He doesn't sound like a backup. He sounds like a quarterback waiting for his name to be called. And that moment might be arriving as early as week 5. But let's not pretend this is purely about Sanders. This is also about what Stefanski and the coaching staff are trying to salvage. Because with every turnover, every stalled drive, every wasted possession under Flacco, this season drifts further from relevance. The Browns aren't just looking for wins, they're looking for identity. And the most strategic move they've made so far? Opening the door for Shedeur Sanders. It's no coincidence that Dillon Gabriel got some snaps. It's no accident that Stefanski is now talking openly about evaluating options. This isn't about competition anymore. It's about preparation. A quarterback shift is coming, and the team is already adjusting behind the scenes. Because you don't just wake up one morning and promote your rookie QB unless you've seen enough from the guy he's replacing. And based on Flacco's Lions performance, the staff has seen more than enough. Let's be clear, this isn't some gamble for clicks or media attention. The Browns need a spark, a shift, a change in tone and trajectory. Because Flacco's mistakes aren't just hurting the team, they're stalling any forward momentum the Browns could have built this season. This team has weapons. It has structure. It has an opportunity. What it doesn't have is a quarterback who can execute with consistency and confidence. Sanders might not be a guarantee, but at this point, he's a chance worth taking. The Browns have played the veteran card. They've tried the experience play. But when safe starts costing you games, it's no longer safe, it's reckless. That's why Stefanski's quote matters. It wasn't emotional. It wasn't reactionary. It was calculated. And it told the league exactly where the Browns are heading. Forward. Now comes the hard part, the expectations. If Shedeur gets the nod, everything changes. Every snap will be dissected. Every throw will be compared. Every post-game presser will be a referendum on whether he's the right guy or just the latest experiment in Cleveland's endless QB rotation. But Shedeur isn't walking into this blind. He knows the weight of this moment. And he seems unfazed. That's where Stefanski's confidence in him makes sense. Because while fans debate his readiness, the team sees a player who hasn't blinked under pressure. Not in college, not on the bench, and certainly not with the national spotlight now hovering over him. He's calm. He's focused. And he's walking into this with a mental preparation that veterans twice his age sometimes still lack. And let's talk about leadership. It's not just about stats or schemes. It's about the ability to rally a team, something Flacco clearly isn't doing right now. With Sanders, there's at least a belief that things could get better. That belief alone is enough to shift the locker room dynamic. And for a team still fighting to stay alive in the standings, belief is everything. It's also why the media, the fans, and the analysts can't stop asking the same question. Is Shedeur Sanders ready to lead the Browns? The honest answer? We don't know yet. But we know what Joe Flacco isn't. And that's what's forcing the Browns' hand. In the NFL, waiting too long to make a change is often worse than making the wrong one. The Browns aren't just reacting to a loss. They're responding to a trend. And it's pointing in one direction. Shedeur Sanders is the future, and the future starts now. So what happens if he gets the start in Week 5? It won't be flawless. No rookie debut ever is. But what matters is what he brings: tempo, confidence, rhythm, energy. Even if he makes mistakes, they'll be mistakes that at least come from trying to elevate the offense, not from collapsing under it. And if he succeeds, even moderately, the narrative around this entire team changes. The locker room feels it. The front office feels it. The fans feel it. And for the first time in years, the Browns won't just be surviving the season. They'll be building something. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't just a rookie with confidence. He's a quarterback with vision. And now he might finally have the platform to prove it. So here's the bottom line. Joe Flacco gave it one last shot. He dropped the ball, literally. And now, the Browns are turning the page. It's time. Whether you love the move or you're cautiously optimistic, one thing is clear. Shedeur Sanders is about to step into the biggest opportunity of his life, and the Browns' season may hinge on whether or not he's ready. So what's your take? Should the Browns give Shedeur the start right now, or stick with Flacco a little longer? Is Stefanski making the right call, or is this just another chapter in the Browns' never-ending QB saga? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We need to hear where you stand on this. And if you want to keep riding through the madness, the meltdowns, and every quarterback decision that has the NFL holding its breath, make sure you're subscribed. Because in Cleveland, quarterback drama is just another week at the office. When your head coach, Kevin Stefanski, comes out after a loss, not just any loss, but one riddled with veteran mistakes, a fumble that could have been avoided, and a quarterback performance flatter than the Ohio skyline, and says Shedeur is firmly in the mix, you're not just tweaking the depth chart. You're making a statement. A seismic one. The Browns aren't easing into this. They're not asking politely. They're not waiting for the right moment. They're on the verge of handing the keys to a rookie quarterback who hasn't taken a single regular season snap because the guy they trusted to guide them, Joe Flacco, just guided them straight into the ditch. And at this point, everyone in the building knows it. Let's talk plainly. Flacco's performance against the Detroit Lions wasn't an off night. It wasn't a few misreads or unlucky bounces. It was a breakdown. The kind of breakdown that makes front offices pick up the phone and say, okay, it's time. The interception in the first half? Ugly. The fumble? Momentum killing. But it wasn't just the turnovers. It was how slow, how tentative, how uninspired the entire offense looked with Flacco under center. The guy's played in this league a long time, but the game has sped up and he hasn't. He's not a bridge quarterback. He's a detour. And the Browns? They've had enough detours. Which brings us to Shedeur Sanders. Now let's be clear, this isn't a case of, well, we've got nothing left, might as well throw in the rookie. This is a calculated pivot. This is Stefanski saying, we need energy, we need confidence, and we need someone who can grow with this offense, not just survive in it. And Sanders? He's been ready. That's not conjecture. That's not guesswork. That's based on every cue Stefanski has dropped. Based on the fact that Dylan Gabriel was given reps. Yes, but only as a look at options. Stefanski isn't experimenting anymore. He's narrowing in. He knows this team needs more than a safe pair of hands. It needs a pulse. Shedeur hasn't just stood on the sideline waiting his turn. He's stayed patient, grounded, and sharp. No complaints. No tension. Just confidence. That quiet, unsettling confidence that he knows what's coming and that he's prepared for it. And look, let's talk about that quote. The one that ignited every debate desk in America. The one where Shedeur Sanders said, with zero hesitation, that he's better than a lot of NFL quarterbacks. At the time, it sounded like youthful arrogance. Now, it sounds like something the Browns front office might actually agree with. Because what Sanders has shown, at least mentally, is composure beyond his years. And let's not underestimate that. Because when he takes the field, the scrutiny will be relentless. Every pass? Analyzed. Every misread? Magnified. Every touchdown or turnover? Fuel for endless takes. But none of that seems to bother Shedeur. And that's why Stefanski's leaning in. Because this isn't just about arm strength or system knowledge or reading defenses. It's about the moment. Can you handle it when your name is finally called? Everything about Sanders says yes. But let's address the obvious question every analyst is asking right now. Is he ready? Here's the thing. No rookie is ever truly ready. The NFL moves too fast, hits too hard, and exposes every flaw. But what matters is how you respond. Do you panic? Or do you reset and grow? That's what Stefanski is betting on. Not perfection, but potential. Because again, this is about direction. The Browns are clearly pivoting toward a youth-first philosophy. You don't give your rookies real game reps, drop quotes like, we're evaluating the position, and float Sanders' name unless you're already planning the transition. And it's the right move. Because continuing to roll with Flacco after what we all witnessed in Detroit, that's not loyalty. That's sabotage. And at this point in the season, there's no time left to coddle veterans whose time has passed. Flacco knows this. The locker room knows this. And Stefanski? He's already packed the parachute. The team needs a shot of adrenaline, a change of identity. And if that comes in the form of a 21-year-old rookie who believes in himself, maybe a little too much, good. That's what this team has lacked, belief. And here's what makes it even more compelling. This isn't just about Shedeur Sanders proving something to the league. It's about the Browns finally making a proactive decision, instead of reacting to disaster after disaster. They're not just plugging holes anymore. They're making a bet. A big one. Because if Sanders steps in and looks even remotely competent, if he avoids turnovers, shows some poise, leads a few scoring drives, then Stefanski doesn't just save the season. He saves his job. He buys time. He gives the fans something to rally behind. And if Shedeur flashes the potential to become the guy, everything changes. The locker room rallies. The offense starts building real chemistry. The front office can begin building around him, instead of building despite the quarterback. But this is the NFL. Nothing's guaranteed. The pressure will be immense. The spotlight? Unforgiving. But that's the beauty of it. Because, for the first time in this entire quarterback saga, the Browns are making a move that says, we're not afraid of the pressure anymore. They're embracing it. And Shedeur Sanders? He's walking into the storm like he owns it. Let's talk about what happens next. If Stefanski follows through, and all signs say he will, Sanders could be starting as soon as Week 5. That game won't just be another test. It'll be a referendum. The front office will be watching. The fans will be judging. The media will be dissecting. And Shedeur will just be doing his job. Because say what you want about him, the kid has composure. He knows the eyes are on him. And he wants that. He's not backing into this moment. He's stepping into it. That's what Stefanski needs. That's what Cleveland needs. That's what every single person in that locker room needs. Someone who actually wants this pressure. So here's the reality. The Browns are at a crossroads. Again, Joe Flacco's been given every benefit of the doubt, and he used it up in under 4 quarters. Dylan Gabriel might have shown flashes, but it's Shedeur Sanders who has the command, the confidence, and now the moment. The decision is coming. The writing is on the wall, and the NFL is waiting. Shedeur Sanders didn't ask for this torch, but he's about to carry it. And if he delivers, we might look back at that fumble in Detroit not as a low point, but as the moment Cleveland finally made the pivot they should have made years ago. The quarterback saga in Cleveland has been long, painful, and borderline absurd. But maybe, just maybe, it's finally coming to an end. Cleveland is at the crossroads once again. Same franchise, same problem, different name. But this time, there's no fog, no confusion, no quarterback competition disguised as strategy. After Joe Flacco's crash-and-burn performance against the Detroit Lions, the Cleveland Browns have one clear direction, one path forward, one name that isn't just trending in local sports talk, but threatening to reshape the entire quarterback room. Shedeur Sanders. And let's be very clear, this isn't a moment of desperation. It's a moment of realization. The Browns are finally seeing what fans have been screaming into the void for weeks now. Flacco's days as a starting quarterback are over. He's not a bridge. He's not a Band-Aid. He's a liability. And the fumble in Detroit? That was just the receipt for everything that's gone wrong since he was given the starting job. That fumble didn't just cost them possession. It cost him the room. It's one thing to make mistakes. It's another to become the mistake. And in that game, Flacco became the problem. Not a victim of the system, not a product of poor play calling, but the actual root of dysfunction. The interception, the fumble, the body language, the unraveling. He wasn't just ineffective, he was finished. And that's why Stefanski, who has danced around quarterback decisions before, isn't dancing this time. Shedeur is firmly in the mix. That's not cautious optimism. That's a loaded statement. That's the fuse being lit. The Browns aren't testing the waters anymore. They're diving in. Now let's get something out of the way before the skepticism rolls in. Yes, Shedeur Sanders is a rookie. Yes, he's unproven at the NFL level. Yes, this move comes with risk. But you know what's riskier? Doing nothing. Letting the season die slowly in the hands of a quarterback who can't push the ball downfield, who's making rookie-level mistakes at 38 years old, and who doesn't offer even a shred of long-term value. That's the real gamble. That's the kind of decision that gets coaches fired and locker rooms divided. But Shedeur? He's not here to be a feel-good story. He's here to start. And more importantly, he's ready. That might sound like a lot to put on someone who hasn't played a regular season snap, but watch how he moves. Listen to how he talks. The moment doesn't scare him. The pressure doesn't rattle him. While Flacco's dragging a ghost of a past prime, Shedeur is staring down the future. He's not asking for permission. He's waiting for the announcement. And when that happens, because it's coming, it's going to shift the tone of the entire organization. Flacco's start signaled fear. A cautious, risk-averse team trying to tread water. But naming Shedeur QB1? That says, we're ready to build. That says, we're done wasting time. This isn't just a change under center. It's a change in identity. Think about the psychology of it. You're a wide receiver lining up with Shedeur behind center. You know he's going to sling it. You know he believes in his ability to go toe-to-toe with NFL defenses. That affects everything. Energy, tempo, confidence, accountability. With Flacco, you're hoping he gets the ball out before the pocket collapses. You're praying he doesn't toss a 50-50 ball into triple coverage. With Shedeur, you're expecting a play. That matters. And look, nobody's pretending this is going to be clean. Shedeur will have growing pains. There will be misreads. There will be pressure. Defensive coordinators are going to throw everything at him, especially early. But at least the Browns will be making mistakes in the right direction. Forward. The patience Shedeur has shown up until now hasn't gone unnoticed. While the media was dissecting Flacco's every overthrow, Sanders kept his head down. No passive-aggressive tweets. No sideline antics. Just focus, faith, preparation. That alone has earned him respect in the locker room. And that's why the transition is going to work. Because the team isn't just tolerating the change, they're ready for it. Flacco's leash has been shortened every week, and after Detroit, it's gone. Whatever leadership presence he brought when he arrived has been replaced with hesitation and doubt. Shedeur brings belief. And don't forget the context. Stefanski's job is very much on the line. If he finishes this season without showing progress, real, tangible growth at quarterback, he could be out. So what does he gain by sticking with a veteran who's proven he can't win games? Nothing. What does he gain by giving Shedeur the reins? Hope. A reset. A possible franchise quarterback. The kind of momentum that buys you another year, a locker room's loyalty, and maybe even some redemption. It's the only move that makes sense. And frankly, it's about time the Browns stop playing scared. They've played scared for years. Always hedging bets. Always keeping one foot in and one foot out. Always choosing safe over smart. The result? A quarterback room that's become a revolving door of regret. This move is different. This isn't hedging. This is a bet. And Shedeur? He's ready to cash in. The Browns are at a pivotal point in their season. Their veteran option flamed out. Their fan base is restless. Their offense is stuck in neutral. And the only thing they haven't tried, the only thing that still holds any intrigue, is Shedeur Sanders. It's not about hype. It's not about selling jerseys. It's about life. Offensive life. Locker room life. Season-saving life. Flacco's had his moment. Sanders' moment is coming. And when he gets that call, whether it's week 5 or beyond, you'll feel it. The sideline will feel it. The stadium will feel it. Because you'll know the Browns aren't just playing for today. They're finally playing for tomorrow. Now it's your turn. Do you believe Shedeur is the right move? Or should the Browns stay patient and give Flacco yet another chance? Let me know what side you're on in the comments. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next in Cleveland's never-ending quarterback thriller. Because if there's one thing this franchise guarantees, it's that the quarterback drama never sleeps.